Welcome back. So glad to see all your beautiful faces back on my channel. I'm your host, the one and only, and we just keep chugging along with these reviews because if Apple hosts their occasional October event, then that means I'll once again have so much to review. I do apologize in advance if my voice does sound a bit weird. I think I'm developing something like strep. I don't know. I hope not. Well, anyway, potentially. Rumors suggest we have new 16-inch MacBook Pros, new Apple Tile, new AirPods 3, new Apple TV, the new Mac Pro, and so much more, but that won't be until possibly later this month. Today, we're going to take a look at what I consider to be one of Apple's best value products, the new iPad 7th generation. However, I will voice my criticism quite heavily here. As many of you may know, I love Apple, but man, they have been lacking so much in innovating and are resorting to really lackluster upgrades. You'll see what I mean. Before we jump into the unboxing, my 10,000 subscriber giveaway is about halfway done. You can win a brand new Apple Watch Series 5. To find out how you can enter, make sure to subscribe right now with bell notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos, and stick around until the end of this video for more information on the giveaway. Alright, let's get it. Now going over a quick unboxing, you have a picture of your device in profile. Here I got the silver version, but you can also pick it up in the newer bronzier gold, and if you elect to want to have black bezels instead of the white ones, your only option to do so is to pick it up in space gray. We have iPad branding flanking both sides with the Apple logo on the top and bottom. On the back, we have our storage capacity as well as an indication as to whether you picked up the Wi-Fi model or the cellular version, as well as your capacity. We have no tab to assist us with this unboxing, so sadly I had to bring this meat impaler thing to assist. Open up your box ever so slowly and let the suspense build, and you'll see your brand new iPad wrapped in this glossy protective plastic. We'll set that off to the side for now and see what other goodies we get inside. We have our literature packet here, complete with your quick start guide, warranty information, and of course the absolute most important part of every Apple unboxing, the Apple stickers. So this marks maybe my 150th pair of Apple stickers. Additionally, inside we have our Lightning to USB cable and thankfully our larger 12-watt power adapter used to charge our new shiny device. Now going back to the iPad, just take the film protecting your device while in transit and hold the power button for a good 3 seconds for your Apple logo to appear so you can set it up. So this iPad is the cheapest offering on Apple's iPad line, coming in at $329 and also $299 for educational institutions. In your choice of 32 gigabytes or for an extra $100 or so, you can get this in 128 gigs, which I would highly recommend if using this iPad for school, and never ceases to amaze me that Apple is still putting a measly 32 gigabytes of memory on their devices, especially touting them as laptop replacements. But even $300 for schools is still kind of pricey, especially when having to buy 20 or 25 plus for entire classrooms. Design-wise, the new iPad is exactly identical to the previous generation, with the only real major change being the new bigger 10.2-inch screen as compared to the older 9.7-inch screen. You'll see here at the bottom we have our speaker holes, and in the middle we have our lightning connector. On the left of the device is where we'll begin to notice another change. We have our 3 dots here, which is used as a smart connection between the iPad and the optional, rather expensive smart keyboard that comes in at a whopping $159 and can be used in conjunction with both the new 7th gen iPad and the new iPad Air that was recently released earlier this year, and both devices now more or less carry the same dimensions to their chassis. On the top we still have our 3.5mm headphone jack, which must take hella courage to still have it there. I don't understand. Apple, what is it that you want? You have the headphone jack on some of your devices but exclude it from others? Just make up your mind. I'm not complaining. Having the 3.5mm jack on this iPad is a huge plus for sure. Towards the middle we have a little microphone, and to the right of that our sleep wake button. On the right, you have your volume up and down, and if you have the cellular version, you'd have your SIM tray situated near the bottom on the right hand side. Flipping the device over and you'll have your polished Apple logo with iPad branding at the bottom, and unchanged is our 8 megapixel f2.4 lens with no flash to be found and can record video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Flipping it to the front and we have our eggplant quality 1.2 megapixel FaceTime HD camera, which works I guess, but should never be used for any serious selfie game. At the bottom we have our Touch ID sensor, which is just as snappy and responsive as we've come to expect, but is the first generation sensor and not the ultra fast second gen sensor that was found on the likes of the older iPhone 8. Again, where we do have a slight change is in the display, and I want to talk about this display for a bit. Apple enlarged the display from 9.7 inches to 10.2, but kept the same horrendous bezels. Like, Apple, dude, this is not what we expect when we hear rumors of a bigger display. I thought the new iPad would retain the same footprint and enlarge the screen to create smaller bezels, similar to how they did it with the iPad Pros when they first came out. They slimmed down the bezels, kept the same footprint and dimensions, and made the iPad Pros into the sexy beast they were destined to be. But Apple, once again, disappoints and just enlarged the screen and kept the same bezels while changing up the footprint to now basically be iPad Air size. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Sure, the extra screen real estate is nice, but not what we were expecting. The newer 10.2 inch display has a screen resolution of 2160 by 1620 at 264 pixels per inch and a max brightness of 500 nits. It has a fingerprint resistant oleophobic coating, but what once again is a big bummer is that this screen is not fully laminated to the glass. When you look at it from an angle, you'll encounter this noticeable air gap, which really does bug me. So now when you press on something, it feels like it's deeper within the display, and well, that's because it is. Even using the Apple Pencil on this seems weird because you don't have the satisfaction of feeling like you're writing right on the glass. It's like there's a barrier between the pencil and glass. It's weird and hard to explain, but next time you go into an Apple store, take a look at it for yourself. The iPad is a big annoyance to me and also makes this iPad harder to use in outside scenarios where there's plenty of light because of that glare and display technology. But I guess for $329 and what is considered to be the budget iPad, we shouldn't expect the best technology, but at least having that display laminated would make an enormous difference on this entry-level iPad. The other biggest change is the addition of the smart connector, which allows you to use a smart keyboard and is typically advertised by Apple as being your laptop replacement, especially with all the new features of iPadOS, which makes the iPads truly in a category of their own right and is about damn time. Before, the iPad would always be ridiculed as just being a bigger iPod because that's essentially what it was. It used to run iOS just like the iPhones and iPods, but now, thanks to iPadOS, you can really consider using this as your computer. The smart keyboard is a total ripoff and tremendously overpriced, but if you do elect to get it, you'll be very pleased with the experience. The smart connector does add a lot of value and substance to your everyday usage, but wouldn't it be amazing if Apple threw it in the box at purchase? Psych! Who am I kidding? This is Apple we're talking about. What's good, albeit also confusing, is that this iPad is still compatible with the first generation Apple Pencil, not the second one that charges magnetically on the side. This means you must charge it in the same old idiotic fashion that is just asking to be either broken or accidentally pushed off a surface and come crashing to the floor. The Apple Pencil works just as you'd expect, with very little latency and is perfect for school and note-taking, but just like the smart keyboard, it is obviously sold separately and comes in at $99. So really, if you wanted to get the entire setup, I'm talking iPad, keyboard, and pencil, you're looking at close to $600 and treads pretty close to passable notebook or laptop territory. It is rather sad to call this an upgrade because we really only get a few extra inches of screen and the smart connector, because internally, we have the exact same chipset and power from the older model. We retain the A10 Fusion chip, not even getting a slight spec bump to say an A11. I get it, this is the cheapest iPad, so we don't expect to see the behemoth A13 Bionic chip in action, but a nice A11 upgrade would have been really nice. The battery is likely slightly larger, but officially, the battery life is rated at the same as the 9.7 predecessor, being rated at 10 hours while surfing the web on Wi-Fi. And while retaining the same cameras as before, you get the usual picture quality you've come to expect from an iPad. Not the best, but surely does get the job done. So really, while having no other advantages other than a little over half an inch of extra screen, there is absolutely no reason to upgrade from the older 6th gen 9.7 inch iPad. You'd be very silly and throwing money away by doing so. However, if purchasing an iPad for the first time or wanting a more portable option to carry around school with or without the smart keyboard, the entry-level iPad is a phenomenal option. The implementation of iPadOS makes this iPad blossom into its own kind of monster and makes for a fantastic value and a great introduction into other branches of the Apple family. Just remember that we shouldn't take these kinds of upgrades by Apple, as it just comes off as extremely lazy from such a huge company and is quite embarrassing to still feature the same chipset the iPhone 7 has, a phone that was released 3 years ago. Despite the criticism, like I said, it's a great offering for those who have never purchased an iPad before, or for those who still have antiquated iPads like the iPad 3 or 4. I want to thank you all for the tremendous support to the channel, and while I am celebrating my 10,000 subscriber giveaway, it seems we're fast approaching my next milestone, that being 25,000 subscribers. It seems to be coming closer and closer, and could not thank you enough for tuning into my videos and ringing that bell and when you drop all those likes and comments. As such, if you'd like a chance to win a brand new Apple Watch Series 5, simply subscribe to my channel with bells, drop a like on this video, and head over to my official iPhone 11 Pro review and drop a comment letting me know who your favorite musical band or artist is of all time. The giveaway ends October 20th via a YouTube livestream. I still have a few more videos to pump out before the potential October event, so I'll be clocking out of this one. Can't wait to catch you all in my future videos. Peace out.